Let me take you back to where it all began. A love story that felt like it was ripped straight out of a fairy tale. His name was Daniel, and he was everything I ever dreamed of. Charming, ambitious, and with a smile that could light up the darkest room. Our wedding day was magical. I remember standing at the altar, tears streaming down my face as I vowed to love him for better or worse. For years, it felt like we were living in a dream. We traveled, built a home, and shared countless memories. But as time went on, I started noticing little cracks in our relationship. The late nights at work became more frequent, the conversations grew shorter, and the intimacy, it faded into something I could barely recognize. At first, I blamed myself. Maybe I wasn't trying hard enough. Maybe I wasn't enough. But no matter what I did, Daniel seemed distant, almost like a stranger living in the same house. I tried talking to him, but he'd brush me off, saying he was just stressed with work. I wanted to believe him, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. Then, one rainy evening, everything changed. I was running late for a work event and called an Uber. When the car pulled up, I was greeted by the most striking pair of green eyes I'd ever seen. His name was Marcus, and from the moment I got into his car, there was an undeniable energy between us. We started talking, and it felt like I hadn't had a real conversation in years. He was funny, attentive, and genuinely interested in what I had to say. Over the next few weeks, I found myself calling Ubers more often, hoping Marcus would be the one to pick me up. And he usually was. Our conversations grew deeper, and I found myself opening up to him in ways I hadn't with Daniel in years. Marcus listened. He cared. And for the first time in a long time, I felt seen. One night, after another argument with Daniel, I broke down in Marcus's car. He pulled over, looked at me, and said, "You deserve to be happy." And in that moment, something inside me shifted. I realized I had been clinging to a relationship that was no longer fulfilling me. Things escalated quickly after that. Marcus and I started seeing each other secretly. It was wrong, I knew that, but it felt so right. He made me feel alive in a way Daniel hadn't in years. The passion, the connection, it was intoxicating. But as much as I tried to justify it, guilt gnawed at me. Then came the day I'll never forget. I came home early from work and found Daniel in bed with someone else. The betrayal cut deeper than any knife ever could. All those late nights, the distance, it all made sense now. He had been cheating on me for months. When I confronted him, he didn't even deny it. He just said, "I thought you didn't care anymore." Those words shattered me. How could he think I didn't care? I had been fighting for us while he had given up. But here's the twist, the one thing I never saw coming. A few months into our marriage, I found out Marcus had been married too. His wife had left him because he was always working as an Uber driver, never home, never present. And then it hit me. Marcus had been using me as much as I had been using him. We were both running from our problems, seeking solace in each other instead of facing our own demons. Looking back, I realize how messy it all was. Love, betrayal, infidelity, it's not as black and white as it seems. We're all flawed, all searching for something to fill the voids in our lives. But the truth is, no one can do that for us. Happiness has to come from within. So, what's the moral of my story? Love is complicated, and sometimes we make choices we're not proud of, but every choice teaches us something about ourselves. For me, it was learning that I deserved more than a relationship built on lies and unmet needs. And while my journey was far from perfect, it led me to a place of self-discovery I might never have found otherwise. As for Marcus and me, well, that's a story for another day. But one thing's for sure. Life has a way of bringing us exactly what we need, even if it's not what we expected. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. Until next time, take care of your heart. It's the only one you've got.